So here's an immersion suit on the table. Now as you can see, I have it laid out. You have basically, it's all made out of neoprene and it's stitched together and it's waterproof and it keeps your body warmth in so the New England waters don't freeze you to death. You want to maintain these two as well. You call it inflation testing. You test the seams, you make sure all your glue, all your pads, all your attachment points are where they're supposed to be and making sure everything works. The most crucial being the zipper here. It's the main seam. So you want to be able to, let me get this out of the way, you want to be able to, without a problem, pull that zipper up and pull that zipper down. If you have corrosion or rust built up, you're not going to get this. You want to be able to put it on as quick as humanly possible during an emergency situation. And top tip, if you see an immersion suit zipper all the way down to the end, that's not a good thing. If I go to put this on and I pinch my shirt in here as I'm zipping up and it gets caught right there, what can I do? I can't back out of that now. Now I'm going to have to do the best I can to just rip through whatever I got caught in there. You don't want that to happen. So you want to come a little bit up, right about there. That'll let you get into the suit and put it on. And if you do get your clothes caught in there, you can back zip your way out, relieve it, and then move forward again. So not all the way down to the end. You want your suits set to about there, you know, give or take. I used to, a couple inches or two is really no set. Different suits. Just make sure you can back out if need be. And then maintain your suits. This is a simple wax puck. I'm going to get in there, I'm going to wax all that up, make sure it stays nice and waxed. That way, corrosion won't build, it'll create a protective layer. And it'll help the zipper slide up and down the track without much problem. So pay attention, wax your zippers, make sure your zipper can move. And then the last tip for what you can do is your light. Make sure your light's on there. Make sure it turns on. Test it, make sure your lights work. If you have to, replace it, change the batteries in it if it's a different style light, but make sure you have a light and it should be up here in the pocket somewhere. There's my whistle. Make sure the unit has a whistle. It'll either be attached to the pull lanyard down here so it ends up at the top when it gets there, like this, or it'll be connected to the pocket right here. Somewhere through here, your light will be looped. Make sure you have a light, because if you're floating in the water at night and nobody can see you, you're probably losing half the battle. You want to be found, you want to make that as easy as possible. Check it for corrosion. Make sure you don't have all kinds of mold and mildew growing on it. And these little wrinkles are called alligator skinning. Now right now it's fine, but if you see this all over the place, like it's all alligator skin, that tells you that your suit is drying out and your neoprene is starting to break down. And then the inherent buoyancy of the suit tends to start to go away as the suit dries out and starts to decompose or break down, however you want to word it. So pay attention to that. Now what I'm going to do is come over here, I'm going to inflate it, I'm going to show you what I do during testing. Top tip, if you're not certified or if you aren't supposed to be doing this, don't do it because you may damage your suit if you don't do it correctly. Take it to a professional. So let's inflate it. Now, here's the head. I'm going to put this in there. It's going to pretend to be your head. Let's get it right in there. So I got it right in there. I'm going to zip it closed. Do exactly like the user would do. Right around there. So now, as you can see, that's taking the place of where the person's head used to be. And then it's not sealed because this isn't exactly the shape of someone's head, so I'm going to cheat and make a little cinch for it. This is what I do to keep air trapped in. And this isn't something you should have to do, this is something your technician should have to do. All right? So I'm going to balance it out here now by backing it off and let it balance. So now as you can see, we're full of air. So it's up. Now I can get a really good look. You can check over here, you can check all your seams, you can check your zipper. You're giving it a visual inspection before you do anything else. This is a SOLAS version, so it comes with a buddy line. Make sure my buddy line is in there. Some do, some don't. Making sure everything sits right. There is my inflation for my ring, my flotation device that's on the back here. I'm gonna go ahead and after I would be done with this, I would inflate that, let that sit overnight or for a few hours with the PSI test, make sure that's holding air. So at this point, now that I have it inflated, I have it balanced out, I would take a sprayer like this. There's a little bit of soapy water still left in there from last time I did it. But you would fill up your soapy water. At that point, I would go ahead and spray the entire suit down. Now, I already did it to this one, so I don't want to have to test it twice. You'd spray in here, get all in here. I'd get all the way around. First thing I want to do is get every seam saturated with soapy water, including the gloves, every single seam. And then the entire suit itself. That way, if there's a little pinhole that you wouldn't be able to see, with the human eye, you can see the little tiny bubbles starting to come out if that was to happen. So once I check the suit visually, make sure nothing's breaking down, make sure my zippers are working, make sure my straps are working, make sure my lights are there, make sure my whistle is there. Once I know everything like that, I'm spraying it down and I'm checking it for leaks everywhere, every seam, every inch of the suit. I'm spinning it over, putting it on its face, and I'm checking the back too as well. So say I did spray it, there was no leaks at that point. Turn off my air. I would go ahead and now the air's out of the suit. It's been tested. What you do at that point is you would come and put a hanger on it, hang it up on the rack behind me, let it dry overnight with a fan on it, get all that moisture out of it, because you don't want to roll up a wetsuit and put it in a bag. You're asking for mold and mildew issues if you do that. Lights, if I took them off, I needed to put them back on because you don't want to water activate lights overnight while they're on the suit, so you put them off to the side. Now that I know everything is good, once it's dry, I would come back with the old wax puck, wax the zipper until I felt like it couldn't be waxed anymore. Because you want to make sure you do your job just in case somebody does neglect the zipper. You put enough wax on there to at least let it survive until the next service. I'm trying to protect you from yourself sometimes, but I do recommend look at your suits, know how they work, make sure your zippers work, make sure your lights, protect yourself. That way, in a situation you need to be protected, and you are. And if you're the captain of a boat, protect yourself and your crew. Make sure they're doing this. At that point, I would fold everything back in, certify it, and then move it on to the captain. And then here's a suit roll. I've seen them folded and everything else. Every suit has a slightly different roll depending on the model. So this one right here, it's already telling me. It wants to be like this. See how easy that is? Follow your patterns. So right up, again, bring that zipper down. Space so I can back zip out. I already have the zipper waxed, the light's working. We bring the head down. Now I've seen this two ways, and both of them are acceptable. I've seen the head come down like this, and then like this, and over the top like that. I've seen that, but I've also seen this. Both of these are considered acceptable. What you want it is rolled up like that, tucked in nice and tight, so that when you go to deploy it out of the bag, it slides right out. You don't want it in there all jammed in there, that way you're fighting to get it out. Every second counts when you need your suit. So, the one I'm partial to is obviously the one I did first. I find the arms in give the suit less to catch onto when it's sliding out of the bag. And let me grab the bag real quick and I'll slide it in there and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Here's the bag. So I'm going to turn the suit. Get it right in there. Now I got a better way to do this. But here we go. So now we're in the bag and you got all these snaps. Line up your snaps, make sure they're on there. Top tip too, if you want them, you hit your snap with some wax, it'll save it from corroding together in the long run. Longevity. A well-protected suit and a well-taken care of suit is a suit that's going to last you the longest. Okay, we're in there. So now we're back in the bag. We're serviced. At that point, you would attach some sort of tag saying when you serviced it. Different bodies of the government or different bodies of the maritime industry have different suit intervals for testing. So stay on top of that, know what your interval is so you could get it serviced accordingly. So the tag will help you know when it was serviced, and then you knowing what your regulations are and when that suit should be serviced again. Hope that helps. There's immersion suits.